Good morning, everyone. Sunday morning, sometime in August. No idea what the date is. But today, I'm going to be emptying Wormtropolis. As you can see, it started to buckle this container under the weight, and now it's actually started to lean backwards. So I'm worried that the leachate is all at this end, and it might be going anaerobic and flooding out any worms that are in that little bit. So I'm going to empty it today, remove these containers here and replace it with some bricks. Hopefully I've got enough bricks, should have. But yeah, reset it with some fresh compost, pop load more worms in it, and in this container here at the end here, this is where I've been baiting all the worms for the last month or two. So any kitchen scraps I've had have been going in this bit here. Just remove this top bit here, and yeah, put kitchen scraps in there. And hopefully all the worms, or most of the worms, will be in here. So I'll empty this bit today, and then once I've reset it with some new compost and leveled it, I'll be emptying this back in on top, and hopefully there'll be lots of worms in here. So I'll try and set you up and film some of it. I don't know if I'll film all of it because it might be a bit boring, but yeah, I'll bring you back in a minute. So as you can see, it's wrapped up quite well. Weighted it down with some bricks around the edge just to make sure no rodents could get in. If you want to see how I made this worm farm, it was inspired by Jeff Lawton and the Weedy Garden, and I'll put a link to my video and their video in the description. And yeah, it's an awesome way to get worm poop on a large scale and get some leachate, virtually every week as well. So yeah, I'll start to unwrap it and bring you back. So I'm just going to remove these bricks for now, put them down here. And it's been a little while since I looked in here, so I'm hoping it's ready to be harvested. I set it up with a load of cocoa coir, which was infused with comfrey liquid, and there's already some little baby worms here, which is a good sign. Another little worm here, another worm there. I'll take these out, and there's quite a few worms under here that you can't see, and this is where they're going through into where the food is. In fact, I need to grab a little container for a worm. So I've got a little Rosie's tub, and I'm just going to save these little worms off this brick. I think that's it off there. And any other worms on this membrane, which I'm using as kind of like a little sieve, so the moisture can get through underneath. And this fabric's wrapped all the way around it. Yeah, there's quite a few little baby worms on there. I just want to rescue them so I don't flick them out anywhere. And I'll put this in the shade in a minute, just down here. Yeah, so I think that's all the worms off the top. Little tiny little baby one just there. And there you. Right. Yeah. So yeah, there's quite a few baby worms everywhere. Come on, put them down in there. Let's try and get them off gently. Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter if they go on the floor because I'm surrounded by wood chips and there's red wrigglers everywhere anyway. So I'm bound to lose a few. I can't be too precious about it. Right, so let's just put that over there. And there's still quite a few worms in here, which I'm not too worried about. I will sift it at a later stage, but for now I'm just going to dig it all out. But we'll have a little look to see what it's like. And I mean, that looks like a potato or something growing in there. But yeah, it looks pretty good stuff. The last time I was in here, I could see quite a lot of the cocoa coir hadn't been consumed. which I was a bit surprised about because I put that in there as a sort of long-lasting food for them if they ever got low on kitchen scraps and what have you. But there's some fairly big bits of avocado and eggshell and big particles in here, so, and there's obviously a bit of potato there from the last sort of feeding I gave them in here. But all that will be getting sifted out, and overall it looks pretty good. There's quite a few cocoons in here still, so I'll start digging it out, and I'm hoping to get, you know, I'm not really sure, over 100 litres I suppose out there. But I'll bring you back when I've dug about half of it out and we'll see what's going on a bit lower down. So I've started to dig out a couple of bags now from in here, and I don't know if you can see, there's still bits of cocoa coir in here that hasn't been consumed by the worms. So I don't think I'll be using cocoa coir again. I'm quite surprised with that because I did, rather than just add water to it, I had comfrey liquid, so I was hoping that would help decompose it by adding some nitrogen to it, but and trying to tempt the worms to eat it. But yeah, there's still quite a bit of cocoa coir in here, and there's a few big twigs and stuff, so I've taken out all the biggest bits I could see really, just they're not going to break down in there. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Oh, it's not 100% done. I mean, this is a vermicompost rather than a vermicast, but yeah, I've still got a fair bit to dig out yet, and there's still quite a few worms in this part of the bin, but I'm not too worried. These are the 2 bags I've dug out so far, and what I'm going to do, I've labelled them up Wormtropolis so I don't get them mixed up with just any other regular compost, and I'm probably just going to stack them in the shed for the time being to keep the moisture off them. I've got nowhere out here to store it, but I want it to be in the shade rather than in the sunshine and in the dry. So yeah, these will be in here. Just, I mean, there's worms in there still. There's still a bit of cocoa coir on top and stuff. There's plenty of food in there for any worms that are in there. There's a load of cocoons, so that'll just keep in the bags, keep him maturing until I need it. I mean, ideally I wouldn't have emptied it yet. I would have left it in there for a bit longer, but because it's buckling under here, I mean, it's definitely smelly at this end compared to this end, a lot more wet. So I'm glad I'm getting in here now to sort it out before the winter, and I'm just going to reset it this time with normal compost from in here, which is filled with worms anyway, and then, like I say, I'll just empty that out into there as well. So yeah, I'll bring you back when I'm pretty much done. So I've managed to take out 3 bags worth now, and as you can see, well, hopefully you can see down here, it's pooling with moisture. So my suspicions are confirmed that yeah, it's just pooling at one end and not letting the leachate out. So I don't know if I can lift this up. Yeah. See if any leachate comes out through that bottle. I don't know if I'm lifting it up high enough. But yeah, it's really low, that is. I've got a little bit in there. So what I'll try and do now is take as much of this out now as I can and empty the leachate out if possible. So yeah, I'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, so I've emptied Wormtropolis as best as I can for the time being. I've got just under 4 bags full, which isn't too bad. It will need drying out quite considerably, it's quite sloppy in there. But I'm happy that I've got 4 bags, or almost 4 bags of vermicompost. So just to show you under the weed piece here how I've constructed it. I've got chicken wire on top of those ribs with stones underneath, and where the bung is at this end, I don't think it's blocked up completely, but there's quite a few castings around there, so I'm going to have to give that a good clean out. But what I'm going to try and do first is get the leachate out by propping it up onto some of these bricks down here. And sorry, I just got interrupted. Yeah, I'm going to prop this up onto some bricks and hopefully drain the leachate out, so we'll see how that goes. So I've managed to prop the Wormtropolis up, and hopefully you can see the level of the leachate rising up. So the bung and the little gauze system what I've got in the end there is working quite well. So what I'm going to do when I reset this bin, I'm going to reset it so that it's higher this end. so it does drain away a bit more easier rather than just keeping it a bit leveler like I did when I started it off, just to ensure it does drain and doesn't collapse again, although it shouldn't do because I'm going to put it on bricks. But I'm just going to have to swap this bottle over in a minute for that other little one. And what I'm doing, I'm popping all the leachate in my J-Dam fertiliser barrel just there. So I'm just clearing away the site where Wormtropolis was. It looks like I'm going to have to try and, well, I can't really because water butts on it, but try and raise this edge up a little bit by putting a couple of little skinnier bricks under it, like little slate bits under here to keep it so it's level. But look what I found hiding behind the J-Dam comfrey liquid. I think there's 3 big courgettes there, so I'm just going to pause you and I'll bring you back when I've got them out. So I did wonder why the courgettes had slowed down a bit. Just to give you a bit of size perspective, there's my little secateurs what I've been using. So yeah, I'd wondered why it slowed down. They're absolutely massive. And I just want to show you this beautiful leopard slug there. It's massive. That's the best coloration I've seen on a leopard slug. Must be quite a nice old one. But yeah, so I'm going to get the bricks over here for this. Re-put the plank, well, concrete plank down, then put Wormtropolis back on top. Hopefully get it all sorted again. So that's Wormtropolis placed up onto some bricks there, so that I can store my watering cans underneath. There's a bit more space for storage under there, so that's pretty good. So it's pretty much empty now. What I'm going to do is remove the lids from here and fill it back up with compost. And there's loads of worms in here, and I'll show you once I've filled it up what it's looking like. And I'll probably pop that stuff back on top, and I'll empty the contents of here as well, and we'll see how many worms are in here. So yeah, see you in a minute. So I've completely reloaded Wormtropolis now. I'll have a look under here. So this was the baited section. You can see a few worms and cocoon there. Sorry. So yeah, I'm happy there's quite a few worms in here. So we're going to empty this out into the main compartment of Wormtropolis, and yeah, the baiting seemed to do a good job really. There's quite a few worms in there, so I'm quite happy with that. But what I'll be doing every time when I turn that or go through it, any excess worms I'm going to be taking out and repopulating Wormtropolis, because I've just taken loads out from the river bags and that. So yeah, I'm going to get this all squared away now. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. If you got anything good out of the video, yeah, give it a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Goodbye.